Cunningham, we're going to continue with Sarah Jones another 10 or 15 minutes. Talk about the trial itself at dirty.com and the closing of Eric Dieters. You were there for that. How good was that?
The trial lasted 4 days, which I was not expecting. And I've never seen Eric in action. I've never been in the courtroom with him. So
I've seen it. It's good.
Yeah, believe me, it's good is an understatement. Literally, there wasn't a dry eye in the courtroom. People were brought to tears. What people don't understand is the background between Eric and I, how we're family friends. And I'm not just a client to him. I'm a friend. I'm a family member. I'm a worker. I work for him.
You work for him right now. In fact, you want to be a lawyer.
Yes, sir, I do.
Good.
That passion is me feeding off his passion because he cares so much about his clients and he wants the best and he fights for the underdog, and that's what he did. And I'm telling you, his closing, he quoted a Shakespeare quote from it was on mercy and just about the people having mercy on me for everything I did. And he explained to the jury that this is bigger than them. That they have an opportunity to do something great here. And by putting a website that defames people and hurts people on a regular basis, people that,
and extorts money from people.
And
people
that want to commit suicide off stuff like this. And he explained to them, like, you have a big opportunity to do something.
And the key here, their defense was peculiar. And that is, their defense was that you lied in your relationship with Cody,
right,
which took place years after the defamation. So they're claiming that because you lied to people about your relationship with a man that you're now likely to marry, that somehow that means ex post facto that you don't get recovery for what they did to you wrong years before that event took place.
Exactly. People they can't get past the fact that I lied, which, I'll remind you, I have never lied under oath. I did lie to the police, and I have admitted, nobody goes into the police and if they are being charged with a crime, admits to that crime. You have to let the justice system do its work. If it would not be smart for me to go in there, tell the police, yes, I did, A, B, and C, and then them take me to jail. I deserved a trial. I deserved innocent until proven guilty. And that's kind of where we got, and, Eric got me there. But it's just because of the credibility from that and me lying there does not mean that that he can do this to people. And
continues. And that was the point Sunday night with Eric Dieters and you and Heidi. The point of that is today, this hour, this minute, 30.com has defamatory postings of large numbers of people that they know is false, but they continue to disseminate it until maybe they're paid money to take it down.
Absolutely. And it's not fair to do that to the general public. It's not fair to do that to celebrities, to public figures, private figures. It's not okay to hurt people and to defame somebody like that. I don't know who he thinks he is, but he does it on a daily basis. And he profits off it. This is his job. He has no other job besides making money off people's downfall. And, I can't respect somebody that does that. I haven't walked in his shoes, so therefore I can't judge him. But to profit off of somebody's downfall and to see them hurt and cry and beg you to take something down and then blatantly leave it up is completely asinine and ridiculous, and he needs to be stopped. And that's why I've gone forward with this lawsuit. I know, people have said that it's legal malpractice to go forward with this, but
some so-called experts have said that.
Right. But it's not legal malpractice. It's what he did. He libeled me. He made comments that were not true, and he had to be stopped. And Eric has done a great job helping me to fight this cause.
And for those who said it was going to be 0 for 10, the vote was 8-2.
Well, we were originally told 9-1, but I believe it was one guy was kind of on the fence. It ended up being 8-2. What Eric explained in the beginning, is that the good thing is Eric made a great move by taking it down to February 1st, 2011. In my plea deal, I had said that the relationship started with Cody York in February of 2011. So what Eric decided to do was we were only suing for a certain amount of time.
Period. Before
yes,
Cody.
October 2009.
Because you admit that was wrong.
Absolutely.
Teacher sex is bad.
Completely, absolutely wrong.
But I ask you the question, do you think the pressure, the tension, the medication you were under, and the stress caused you to lose some of your good judgment to have sex with a student?
It did lose.
I know you want to be brave and say, well, I don't want to blame something else, but
right. I don't like pushing the blame off of like I said, I have to accept the responsibility that what I did was wrong. But I was put into a situation that I had no control over. I had no control over what people were saying or what people were thinking about me. I just wanted it to stop. And I with going through an abusive relationship, somebody I'd been with for so long that it was a complete downfall of my, everything that I was going through on top of
50 girls he cheated with, and he was physically and emotionally abusive to you.
Yeah,
You
it
felt
was
like you were beat down a little bit, and you were like destroyed, like you were fragile and you were broken.
well, yeah. I mean, anybody that's ever been cheated on knows that it hurts, and anybody that's ever been in a dysfunctional, unhealthy relationship knows that it's very difficult to sometimes get out of that relationship when you're in it.
In fact, you had a
And
protective order, didn't you? Have a TPO that you sought to have against this guy to say he's got to leave me alone.
yes, he had made some threats, and for my safety, we felt like it was necessary to go ahead and file the EPO, and that's still in place, the emergency protective
Well, I'd
order.
have to come back to this then, Sarah. I'd have to think that the state you were in was so fragile that you lost some of your good judgment.
Absolutely, I was fragile, and Cody was there to he was there to with open arms, supportive, the crying shoulder that I needed. He was a family friend rather than my student, but that's who I turned
Were
to.
you ever a teacher with him in class?
I was, but after I had already known him through our
So
families.
you knew him for years.
Yes.
And this was voluntary. There was no coercion. There was no
No luring,
pressure.
no coercion, absolutely not.
And
This
it never
was very,
happened on property, on school property,
no, very consensual, loving relationship.
which continues through today.
Yes, sir.
And one day your father may walk you down the aisle again
Yes,
with Cody waiting for you.
absolutely.
And that's what you're looking forward to.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, and I deserve that. I deserve to be happy, and I deserve to be with somebody I love, and that's I'm getting that second chance, which is although it got there in a way that it shouldn't have, the ending and the outcome is worth it.
Jane Seymour says love will find a way.
Absolutely.
Now, going forward, you got another trial set. Is it going to be March or April? Is that?
I heard, I read in the paper, which
March
you never
or
know.
April?
I believe it's March 1st as we have a hearing. So sometime after that.
Sometime March or April. Well, let me ask you this. What's going to be different in the second trial that was not present in the first? You got 80% to go with you. You got 8-2, maybe 9-1. The great majority. There's always 1 and 2 jurors. Many times in a civil case, it's a verdict of majority or it's 3/4. I guess in federal court in Kentucky, this is 100%. But what's
Right.
going to be different in the second trial?
A lot. The good thing about the first trial is, granted, absolutely, I wish this was over. I wish I could close the chapter on this and move on with my life finally. But it was kind of like a mock trial. We were able to see what works. We had no idea going in there what the jury's perception would be. And to come out with an 8-2, in my favor is phenomenal, and it's huge, and it lets people, like Eric explained, it lets to see the humanity of it, that people are forgiving, but they're not forgiving for people that continuously libel and hurt women on a daily basis. And I think the women of the jury saw that, and they want to put a stop to it, and I'm completely with them. And I couldn't have had a better jury, although that we had some issues with the two. They were great, they were understanding, and they, for the most part, the majority of them concentrated on what they needed to concentrate on, those 2 years of defamation. But it's a walk-in process. We're going to be able to call witnesses that were, I'm the only person that testified in my trial. Eric called me. We wanted to keep it simple. We wanted it to be me and Nick up there. What was wrong happened, and we were able to prove that. But now the jury gave us insight as to what we needed to do. We're going to be able to call witnesses to testify that I had never slept with any Bengals players. We're going to call my doctor, who explained that I never had any STDs. We're going to call witnesses to testify to the character and my reputation before the posting.
Heidi,
We're going to have
the
Heidi,
girl
which
who
is
tried to get
huge.
dirty.com, her alleged relationship with a famous person, and the extortion attempts to try to get that down, because they're not going to like, and mainly dirty.com, Nick Ritchie goes after women.
It's all bashing women. He has a section on his site where it's called "Would You?" People submit pictures of women, and they say, basically, would you have sex with this woman? And every answer is no. And then he explains why he wouldn't have sex with them. And that's completely degrading and absolutely ridiculous, that who is he to say who he would have sex with and say these things about women that he doesn't even know.
Well, the saga continues. I know Eddie and Tracy are looking for an education reporter. Are you interested?
I think I could do that.
And how's your mom doing? How's Cheryl doing?
She's holding up, but she's been brought through the mud through this. Completely my fault.
What she did wrong. As a mother, she sent a text to her daughter saying the police were just here or something, and that was the obstruction of justice, was a parent telling a child what to do with the text, correct?
She was charged with tampering with physical evidence, and that consisted of her sending a text message basically saying, stop texting, just get rid of the phone, stop doing what you're doing. And it was she was in protection mode, and she and her name and her reputation have been completely, 35 years of serving the educational system flawlessly has been brought through the mud, and the guilt that
Do
I
you feel
go through.
guilty about that a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's extremely hard to know that although I did hurt myself, to hurt my family and put my family through that, she had to retire, to end that streak, that 35 flawless, those 35 flawless years is very devastating from a daughter that I hurt my mom that much. And I forever will feel guilty for doing that.
How's your reputation standing in Kenton County and the tri-state? Do you have difficulties now going out? Do you, people talking about you, looking at you, pointing? Do you have to go through that?
Absolutely. Yeah, it happens a lot, but and people will even make comments like, "We just want her to go away," and that's what I want too. I just want to go away. I just want to move on with my life. I want to be happy. I want a normal relationship. Cody and I do not let that stop us from going out in the public and living our lives. And we go out on a regular basis and with our families, kind of enjoying life. And people will talk, but those that love me will love me, and those that hate me will continue to hate me. And I can't worry about that. I can't worry what they think. All I'm worried about is getting through the next day and getting through this lawsuit and continuing to live my life for me.
Sarah Jones, good luck. We'll do it again. You're blessed to have Eric Dieters as your attorney. I
Oh,
couldn't
know.
imagine a lawyer doing this, probably for little or no money because he believes
Right.
in the cause. But Eric believes in the cause.